Yeah, I went to Mesa Community College, which is why my badge says Mesa, and I graduated there in May. So I'm a recent graduate.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I got my AA degree and associates, and then Arizona State curriculum degree as well, and transferred over to ASU. Well, graduated and moved on to ASU. So.
Well, I know that Mesa's doing a lot of great work
Yes.
bring more awareness to college completion and more supports for students. Are there things that helped you in your experience in community college related to this?
I think the one thing that really helped was when I started at Mesa. I was 18 and I had just aged out of the foster care system. And so then going to Mesa, I really had no idea what to do. And I happened to be a service learning instructor's assistant. And so I somehow stumbled upon the financial aid and honors department. And the honors department kind of just took me from there. I received a lot of mentorship, which I think is the most important thing. And it was through the honors department and the people that I met there that I was able to be like a Phi Theta Kappa officer, and just the mentorship that I received, and people who were really wanting to make sure that students completed in terms of mentorship and financial aid and college completion and what programs were available, and learning about different activities on campus such as AmeriCorps or Learn and Serve programs. I find that was really helpful because I was able to get involved, and I was surrounding myself with people who I felt like cared about the students, and that definitely helped me want to stay in school. And I feel like it helped me. I know for a fact it helped me set up my path to transfer, to graduate, and then transfer on to ASU.
So it sounds like you have a lot of connections now to programs and ways that you can be a student leader and mentor your peers. Is that a role that you see as important right now?
Yeah, I definitely, just this past year, actually, a bunch of Phi Theta Kappa officers and I sat down and we decided we noticed that our honors college students were dropping out faster than a regular student. So someone who wasn't in the honors program were actually staying in school, where our honors program students were dropping out, and we couldn't figure out why. So we started an honors peer mentor program, which was hugely successful, and it was just honor students as myself who have already been through the honors program and understood the criteria for staying in and the GPA and whatnot. We were able to pass that along to new students, how to get involved, and we found that a lot of it was people were dropping out of the honors program because they couldn't do the math. They were failing out because of math, and they didn't realize that there was free tutoring on campus, or there was free tutoring but they couldn't, they had to work. So what is it that we needed to do to help them set up? And so I kind of really took it upon myself to personally meet with my mentees and sit down, and I had already taken calculus and whatnot, so I was able to sit down with them, and I hate math, but I was able to meet with them and help tutor them. And technology played a huge role in the mentorship between peer-to-peer, because I was able to text them, email them, find them on Facebook, check in on them. And along with that, another huge project that we started at Mesa Community College was what we call Project Hope, which was healthy outcomes through prevention and education. And it was educating, we found out that Arizona was number 3 in the nation for teenage and unplanned pregnancies, and you know how important that is in college students, and that's another huge aspect of why people drop out of school, because financial aid aspects. Now you have a child, how do you work and support a kid, and all sorts of stuff like that. So we took it upon ourselves to go out and educate community members, and we went to different high schools and educate them just on family planning and contraception and resources that were available. And again, technology played a huge role, but the main thing was mentorship. But if we didn't have that mentorship between peer-to-peer, we needed advisors who were willing to understand that this was a great cause and that overall it was going to help Arizonians to understand safe sex and family planning. And so the mentorship that we received from our college president especially, and from several other community organizations to help promote this project and to help us expand upon it was huge. And as students, we couldn't be able to do that without a higher level. So it was really great.
Are you able to share the coming from maybe a more difficult or non-traditional background of being in the foster care system, having to transition to many different adult responsibilities suddenly when you're in college. Are you able to share that experience, or how does that prepare you for where you are now?
So I aged out when I was a senior in high school, and that was extremely difficult because a lot of my friends in high school didn't understand why I couldn't hang out all the time, because I had to work a full-time job to pay for an apartment and to pay for a car, and things that you never would think about as, a normal, I guess, like a normal student. I had to worry about gas and food and electricity, and if my glasses broke, I had to, pay for glasses, and, just all sorts of stuff that as a normal, student, you didn't have to worry about. And so I really didn't share with a lot of people because I wanted to fit in so bad that I didn't want to burden others with my story. And even my first year of college, none of my teachers knew. I will tell you a funny story. I met with the Gates Foundation a couple months ago, and they wanted to hear about my personal story and how I've been able to overcome adversity, and how I was reaching out to other students to help them. And I was in the room speaking with the Gates Foundation with a honors faculty who I had taken several honors classes with, who was my teacher. And we walked out of there and said, I had no idea. He's like, I've known you for almost 2 years now, and you look like you live on a white picket fence. And I think of it as just kind of in this past year, I didn't want to tell anyone because I was so ashamed. But the Gates Foundation, Stephen Patrick especially, really pushed me to put it in a more positive view and say, if you open up about your story and the challenges that you faced, think of how many people are going through the same exact thing or similar things, and how you are able to be a role model to them. And so I've really been able to step it up a notch now, and I've been able to go to other places in Arizona, such as Sunshine Acres Children's Home, which is a home for children whose parents are incarcerated or going through drug rehabilitation programs. I've been able to go there and do financial aid workshops, and I did an AmeriCorps term there, so I was able to provide mentorship and let them see that just because this is where you are right now, it's not where you have to be. And I was so blessed at being this year's Community College National Conference speaker, which was hosted in Arizona, and I was able to go on stage and speak to an audience about the importance of mentorship from someone who came from a diverse background, and where I've been able to go from there. So I'm kind of pushing in a new direction and really opening up and trying to support not only myself but other students and let them know that, hey, if I did it, you can do it too, and these are the resources that helped me get where I am, and really provide a link. I can help them and hook them up with people who have helped me who can now help them as well. So it's kind of just a chain reaction.
It's a very inspiring story, Sheila, and I admire having that much belief in yourself at the point where you were basically on your own. And I just wonder, are you finding that students need different types of reinforcement from the system? Like, what else can community college do to deliver that kind of confidence that you're showing?
Well, it took years of hard work to really get where I am today. And I think on a personal level, I think it has to be up to that person. I will share this with you, but I do have a twin sister who went through the foster care system as well, and she is now a stripper with 3 young kids. And I look at it like she had every opportunity to be where I am, and I feel like initially it needs to be something inside of you. It needs to be a personal decision. It needs to be motivation. And I can't tell you the difference between her and I don't know. I just know where I am and I know where she is, and so I think initially it needs to be that person, but I can guarantee I wouldn't be where I am today sitting with you doing this video if it wasn't for people along the way who were willing to tell me about scholarships that were coming up, or different programs, or what AmeriCorps was, how I could get involved, what was going on in terms of funding and the cuts there, and how I can be an activist for other students who were needing financial aid, but with the budget cuts and whatnot. And I was able to do just a lot of great mentorship and stuff like that. But if it was not for the mentorship that I received on my campus with faculty and with administrators who were really interested in the students and what we could do, and very change and need-based change, I wouldn't be where I am, and it's because I had such a great support system. Even though I didn't have family, I have family in the sense that I know that if I was hurt tomorrow, if I need to go to the hospital, I could call one of my teachers, and she would pick me up and take me there, and and would pay for it if I didn't have the money, and would either say, don't worry about it, we'll figure this out. And it's because I have that support system through my community college and through the people that I've been able to meet. And I think that, that's the most important thing that college has been able to give me was, kind of a family in a sense and a support system.